Browns? Really?
Really?
Wow. There's got to be a backstory behind that. All right, guys, let's get it done.
How's the time off been? I don't, how much time did you take off one day?
Yeah, we took mixed the day off. I mean, but it's been good. It's
Or
been
maybe
good.
like working on yourself rather than an opponent? Is that what it's been these last few
Well,
weeks?
we work on ourselves every day. I mean, we work on ourselves every day, and we prepare to play against opponents every day. So it's been business as usual.
What have you made of ASU as of recently?
Well, I mean, Arizona State's, they're a dangerous team. They're streaky, and I say that with all due respect, we know that they're going to come in here and they're going to give great effort, and they got some, really talented individual players. They play extremely hard. They're probably one of the most aggressive defensive teams we'll have played all year. And then offensively, they have ability to make difficult shots, and so we got to be dialed in. And Collins is a really good player at both ends of the floor. And then Neal is really talented, and Perez, we've never played against him, but I'm obviously he scored a lot of points over the course of his career, and he's really effective. And Gaffney continues to develop, and he's talented and dangerous. I mean, there's not many guys that can catch a lob and hit a three, and he can do that. And then they got some bigs that are aggressive, and then the Miller kid, is a high level recruit. I know he's had some injuries and transferred a little bit, but he's also I've seen him play in high school, and I know he's a lefty that's capable of getting really hot.
For better or for worse, it seems like the McHale crowd shows out when UCLA or ASU's on the other sideline. What are you seeing kind of what will you see from this crowd this weekend that brings a little more juice?
Well, I expect to see great energy from our crowd, and our crowd's been I think they've been great. In my 3 years, this is I think feel like the best they've been overall, and not that I need to be rating them or anything, but I think they've been great, and I think they know this team has a chance to be special, and they know we're competing for a Pac-12 championship in the last year of the Pac-12. So I think our fans are all on board and behind us.
Tommy, with what went into Kylan's injury at the end of the Utah game and maybe not knowing how much you were going to have him for Colorado, what was the preparation process like to get Conrad ready for what you turned out to be his real minutes?
I mean, Conrad is ready, and I mean, and J Rock, told me that he felt was pretty certain that Kylan would be okay to play, and Conrad playing in that game really had nothing to do with Kylan's banged up shoulder. It had to do more with just managing the game. We had some foul trouble. The clock's at 12:01, and we had a little bit of a lead, and I just felt like the way the game was being played, that Conrad could impact it, and I trust putting the ball in his hands, and you know it, I didn't think it would go bad, but it almost went perfect. His little run in there. So I think he's a guy that I really believe in him. And I know, over the course of his career at Arizona, he's going to become a fan favorite and a real contributor here.
Could you see him getting minutes in the first half in the game?
I mean, I honestly, haven't thought that far ahead. I mean, if this was a situation, where the game is playing out, I'm trying to manage the game and win the game. I, look up and see an opportunity to put him in. We're in foul trouble. It was, it wasn't. I didn't, make a decision before the game that I was going to put Conrad into the second half of the 12-minute media timeout. It's just how the game played out. So if it happened, I think Conrad would be fine, and I think we would be fine.
What have you made of the rivalry
situation? I try not to overthink it. I mean, I know, it runs a lot deeper in some people than me. I mean, I know, probably, people don't realize, Bobby and I are friends. I mean, we're friendly. I mean, we don't just hang out all the time or talk on the phone all the time, but we're definitely, we have a good relationship, and I respect him as a person and as a coach, so I don't try to get much beyond that. I mean, I know not only we have to play Arizona State twice, I know it's going to be a hard game. We just the way they're built, they're a dangerous team. So, but I also understand our fans are very passionate about it, I'm cool with that. I respect that.
How much do the newcomers know about the rivalry, and have the veterans of the team help give some more knowledge about who played in the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always something for us. That when you have half your team's international guys, sometimes they don't understand the built-in rivalries that happen within college basketballs and fan bases. Now if they're playing against another country that they grew up playing against, they understand. So you just have to kind of get on that level and explain it to them a little bit. And then our guys that have been around, know what this game means to our fans and what it means to us. And my main focus, to be honest, is how this game impacts our season. I mean that's all I really focus on.
Do you think in a way, in a different circumstance, different players, especially for them, but just the way they won last year with that 60-footer or whatever it was on senior day sticks in the minds of the guys you have back from that?
I mean, I'm sure they have a good feeling about it, and I'm sure we don't have a great feeling about it. But we don't sit around and talk about it. I just know situationally we probably could have handled things a little bit better, and that starts with me. But I learn and I grow too.
Thinking big picture about this team right now. You guys, we haven't talked to you obviously since Saturday night's win. You guys go on the road to the toughest swing in the Pac-12. You win in triple overtime.
Why does that be the toughest? Why can't Arizona State be the toughest?
Yeah, just net wise.
Okay,
But
okay.
you get your legs
You backed it up with facts. I'm cool. Thank you. Good for you.
Getting your legs back underneath you after a triple overtime game and then going and playing the way you did at Colorado, who had an awesome home. How do you feel about your guys after a weekend?
I mean, I like where we're at. I like where we're at, but more importantly, I like where we're going. And and my job is just to make sure we continue to get better and tighten things up, and give ourselves the best possible chance every night out to win games. So I like where we're at. Now liking where we're at and guaranteeing that we play great on Saturday are two different things. We got to come out and make it happen, and it's that time of year. February going into March, you got to come out and you got to make it happen every day. There's no what you did last week doesn't really impact this week.
Tommy, on some of these last shot possessions, Florida Atlantic, Utah, where you're trying to win the game in the end, how would you best describe offensively what you're looking to try?
I know from your guys' seat, it probably looks like it could be better, and it could be better. But I would also say from the reality, it's a lot harder than it looks. If you watch the end of these games, like on a night in, night out basis, it's hard to get good shots at the end of the game. It really is. And, you by this time of year, you're heavily scouted. Teams know your tendencies. I feel like we're trending in a better direction now than maybe when we did the Florida State game. And, the second overtime, at Utah, that's my fault. They were switching defenses, and, and I figured, man, I'm going to call a timeout, and they're just going to switch defenses again, and so I was like, hey, we got the ball in one of our better players' hands, and I know he's capable of making a shot. He and I have talked since then that, we probably don't need to settle for a 30-footer. We need to put the ball on the floor, use our athletic ability, and make a play, whether it's for yourself or for a teammate. So it's just hard to script at the end of a game. It really is. Teams, you could play against a team all game, and they're playing a certain type of defense, and you get in the last possession. Now they switch everything, or they go to a zone, so it's just it's a lot easier said than done.
And how much, I guess, in terms of not wanting to turn it over in that.
Well, that's the most important thing. If the game is tied, the biggest responsibility is they don't get a shot on goal, the other team. If you have the ball, that's the number one thing. Don't put yourself in a position to lose. So no, yeah, you want to be mindful and be aggressive on offense for sure to create opportunities. But I thought, I can't remember if it was the end of the first overtime or maybe regulation. Caleb drove the ball hard and there was contact. Could have been called a foul. Not that anybody would want a game necessarily in like that, but it probably throughout the flow of the game was a foul. They don't call it. So, that also happens. Players know that. You put the ball on the floor, you drive it in there, you're are you going to get the same call that you would have got at the 16-minute mark? Probably not. So, I think that factors in players and coaches' minds as well.
ASU's averaging about 12 steals a game. Is it mostly poking the ball out of someone's hands, or is it not jumping?
They are extremely handsy, extremely aggressive, and they're not afraid to take chances. So when you play them, you got to play with great fundamentals and great poise. And it's just unique how they play defense, and they're very aggressive and they're good at it.
Do you think they're similar? You've always seen them Tempe, they had 9 transfers last year. A lot of these faces, are they kind of fundamentally still look the same when you look at them?
Yeah, I think they're playing the same way. I think they are for the most part, playing very similar, and Perez is a little different entity. He's kind of a power four man. His ability to put the ball on the floor, get to the free throw line, post up, things like that. So, but yeah, but all in all, it's similar to how
Yeah,
they've been.
maybe are they kind of an example of, I don't know, or if you guys even think of this stuff, just the way it is nowadays, where you have NIL and other things to be a factor with them, and they have to
You know,
rebuild,
Bruce,
and then you just move on.
I only have enough bandwidth to coach one program, and it's Arizona. So I don't have enough bandwidth to be worrying about what other people are doing or it is. It's obviously it's a tough business. I just know Saturday, no matter how we slice and dice it, it's going to be a hard game.
Jordan Umar, he's played very well lately, obviously. Is it mostly energy, or what's been the transition for him to get?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's played with great energy and effort. I think you always want to start there with any player, and especially your big guys. And I just think his confidence has kind of returned to a high level. And yeah, he's played great. I mean, when O plays really good and with great energy and great effort, he's a separator for us. So I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for our team that the way he's been playing.
I was wondering about Jaden, the way he's been playing too, and obviously he's accepted that role. I'm wondering how you manage that, and have you had to manage it with family, posse, who's ever around him? Because a guy like that with his pedigree and
Well, for one,
maybe looking for more.
I'm not going to comment on what I would do with a family or posse. Okay, so I'm not doing that. Two, Jaden Bradley is a great high character kid who his number one focus is on helping his team win. And you know what? Could he have a bigger role? Maybe. Is he thriving in the role he's in? Yes. And that's very important for us and for any program to be good. So I'm thankful we have him. I really value him. And I think he's going to have a great impact on Arizona basketball over the course of his career.
Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, because he's got Donald, went to IMG, got all that, went to Alabama, then left when it looked like his role was a little bit reduced. You'd think without knowing him, maybe this guy might be a guy who wants minutes and shots.
He's a high character, team first, amazing person.
Yeah.
I mean, enough said.
With Kylan, can you simplify it to if he's aggressive, he's more likely to play well than?
Well, I mean, I think you could deduce that with almost any player, but for sure. I mean, yeah, when Kylan is more aggressive and more decisive, he's had more success, but that's part of growing and learning, I mean, hey, listen, Kylan's getting better week by week. I mean, he might not always see it, statistically or in his performance, but, I mean, somebody had told me, I think somebody was doing our SIG job and told me that 30 points over a weekend was his highest 2-game total of his Arizona career. So, I mean, pretty good. He's getting better, and I love where he's at, and I like the conversations we're having, and I think, in one of those games, I can't remember which game it was, but he and JB combined for 25 points and I don't know, 7-8 assists and 1 turnover. I mean, that's great production from your point guard spot. I mean, so we're lucky at Arizona to have really good players.
Do you consider your defense to be aggressive?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I want it to be.
I mean, you have more steals than ASU does. You have like 7 guys with at least 20. Is it a matter of more opportunistic or always trying to end possession before a shot?
No, I mean we're going to play solid, sound defense, but we're not afraid to pressure the ball. We're not afraid to be handsy. We're not afraid to break on a pass. So yeah, no, I mean we better be playing aggressive defense, or I probably won't be very happy.
Got one more question.
You had said last week in terms of a question about altering your lineup that you felt good about where you were at. Where does that feeling come from when you're still young in your coaching career from the standpoint, like last year you did make a change, this year you don't? How do you kind of feel that?
Young, I don't know about if I feel young. 25 years, I've been around a lot, and believe it or not, my mind doesn't really turn off. Thinks about the game 24/7. So I just think you feel like you know what's best for your team and the players on your team, and it doesn't mean there's not another way to do it, but I'm comfortable and convicted in the way we're doing things, and I feel like our players are as well.
Thanks, Coach.